Today we are diving into a really key part of SAP Ariba, the sourcing request template. If you've ever felt like you're just spinning your wheels setting up new projects, then this is definitely for you. We're going to lay out a simple, super effective blueprint so you can create projects with confidence. Let's jump in.
Does this sound a little too familiar? A new sourcing project kicks off, and there you are, building it from the ground up all over again. Defining the same fields, mapping the same processes. It's a really common frustration, and honestly, it's a huge time waster.
And that really gets to the heart of the problem, doesn't it? When everybody's creating projects in their own unique way, you end up with inconsistency. And that, almost always leads to confusion and errors later on. For real efficiency, for things to be reliable, you've got to have a standard starting point for everyone.
So let's think about this like it's a puzzle. You've got all these different pieces of information that have to come together just right to create a sourcing request. The big question is, how do you make absolutely sure that all those pieces fit together perfectly every single time?
Well, the good news is SAP Ariba already gives us the solution to this puzzle, and it's called the project template. This is the exact tool designed to bring some order to all that potential chaos and make sure everything lines up right from the get-go. So what even is a template in the Ariba world? I mean, it's a word we throw around all the time, right? But inside the system, it has a really specific and actually a surprisingly powerful meaning. At its core, a project template is a required blueprint. And I mean required. You literally can't create a sourcing request without one. It's the absolute foundation that your entire project is built on. No template, no project. Simple as that.
And this slide really breaks it down nicely. You could think of a template as just a basic cookie cutter, right? Stamping out the same old shape again and again. But an SAP Ariba sourcing request template, that's a smart blueprint. It's preloaded with specific fields, the exact rules, and all the conditions your project needs to work right from the moment you click Create.
Okay, now this is super important. Not all templates are the same. The standard out-of-the-box template that just comes with the system, it's actually designed for a very specific kind of integration. It is not the one you want to use for creating sourcing requests right from your dashboard. This is such a common trip-up, but it's one we can easily avoid. And that brings us to the most important part of this whole thing. To set up a template that works perfectly for projects that you start from your dashboard, you just need to know two, let's call them golden rules. That's it, just two. If you can master these two little rules, you've pretty much mastered template setup for this really common, really important scenario. Let's break them down. Okay, here they are. First, the origin field has to be set to Ariba. Second, a very specific visibility condition needs to be completely gone, absent from the template. Let's take a closer look at what that actually means. Rule number one is pretty straightforward. Setting that origin field to Ariba is basically like putting up a giant signpost for the system. It clearly tells it, hey, this sourcing request is starting right here, inside the Ariba dashboard. That is the key setting that makes sure it even shows up for your users to select. And now for rule number two. This one is all about what's not there. Your template has to be totally free of a certain condition. This is the one that often gets people, because they're looking for something to add, not checking for something that needs to be taken away. And this right here is the condition you're looking for. If your template has a visibility condition that says origin is equal to external, that's a huge red flag. It means it's set up to get requests from an outside system, like an SAP ERP. For projects you want to start on your dashboard, this condition has got to go. So, we have our two rules, but let's bring this back to your actual day-to-day work. Why does getting this one little detail right matter so much? What's the real-world impact?
Yeah, let's look at the actual outcomes here. What are the perks of following these rules? And what are the headaches you're going to face if you don't?
This table just lays it all out, plain and simple. Look at Rule 1. Set the origin to Ariba, and boom, your template shows up on the dashboard for users. Easy. Now, Rule 2. Make sure there's no external condition, and you've just empowered your users to create requests directly. If that condition is there, your template is basically just sitting there, waiting for data from an external system that's never going to come. So really, the big takeaway is this. It all boils down to these two settings. You get them right, and you unlock a smooth, standardized, and efficient way to kick off sourcing requests right from the user dashboard. This is the foundation of a well-run sourcing process. So there you have it. You've got the essential blueprint for creating the right sourcing request template. The power to standardize and streamline your process is literally in your hands. So the only question left is, what are you going to build first? Hey, welcome. Today